Hola! Me? Hello, hello, hello. Man, guess what today is? July 14th. That's important because that marks 1 month of me starting my YouTube. Which is fucking cool, man. 1 month anniversary. In 1 month, we've made 10 videos, which I feel actually really good about, you know? Sometimes I get stressed, like I need to be doing something different to get more views and attract more followers, which is something that, I'll be honest, I am very interested in. But I'm not worried about that because I think that happens with time, you know? Yeah, I do wish I had a little bit more money to spend on ads and I did have better equipment, but that'll come with time. I think there's something valuable about just making do with what you have and continue with your grind and keep going. So if anyone's in that same boat, I get it. I know what it's like. And keep going, bro. Keep it fucking going. Man. Whew. We got a fucking cool chapter. Today's chapter is it's titled Vibration. We talk about vibration of a soul, vibration of greater soul, and vibration in terms of creativity. So that'll be super interesting. I find it very interesting. Sorry, that was fucking disgusting. But yeah. Let's see, man. A little catch up on me. I went to Wise Guys yesterday. That's the comedy club up in Salt Lake, but I didn't perform, which I was bummed about because I took the front runner of the train up there, and it doesn't go till very late, and I was in a bit of a time crunch because I was like, my name wasn't getting called, and it wasn't getting called, and it wasn't getting called. And then finally I was like, damn it, dude, I don't want to get stranded up here. So I dipped early before my name was called to go up and perform. Which is frustrating, bro. I would literally rather bomb than to go there and not do anything, you know? Regardless, it was awesome to see my buddies. John Henry, shout out John Henry. He's a dude that started about the same time as me. He had a really good set. I'm proud of my friend, man. I would say it was his best set yet. So, I don't know if he ever watches this, but if he does, fucking good job, bro. There were other guys that did fucking great. Girls, too. I wish there were more girls. If you're a girl and you're watching this and you want to do stand-up, here's your push. Go do it, man. There's too many fucking dicks up there. You're like, I want to see a girl. The girls are funnier. The girls are sweeter, and they're easier to look at. Their voices are more pleasant to the ear, you know? At least that's what I think. I was about to say a joke from this girl, but then I realized I probably shouldn't because someone's going to steal that shit because it's fucking great. Anyway. I still haven't done my Mormon Prophet bit, and I want to. But at the same time, I shouldn't care so much about it because it's not that funny. I mean, it's pretty funny, but it's stopping me from writing because I'm like, well, this is what I'm gonna go do, so I don't need it. I'm kind of blowing off writing. That's what I'm saying. I'm calling myself out right now. I need to get back to it. Get that muscle going. Get the ideas flowing, because I want to make shit that's funny for everybody, not just a select group of people, you know? Even though I think it is pretty fucking funny. Pretty funny. I'm trying to learn the line of being mean, because all of the good comics are pretty fucking mean, but they do it in a way where it's never like you never feel like they're being mean to you. They're just like ranting and they're expressing anger, and it's funny, a lot of them. Not everybody, but a lot of them. And I'm like, it's very skillful and technical. If you've never done it, you don't realize how much skill is involved in that. It's cool, man. I watch stand-up so much different now. I'm like studying these motherfuckers. Like, wow, they are very talented, very intelligent, very smart, way more clever than what you may think. Well, at least that's what I thought before I ever got up on a stage. I knew they were funny, but I didn't realize, how good they actually were. They're very fucking good. Someday, baby, someday. I feel like I'm calm on a stage. Like, I don't panic. I still bomb sometimes. I think people bomb always, but I feel reasonably calm. But I haven't had like a killer set yet. I haven't had like a room full of like people losing their shit. Soon. I'm chasing it, dude. I'm chasing it. Today I went and I had lunch with my dad, and that was awesome, man. Super chill. We went, we ate, just hung out, talked. He is a self-healer, man. He totally is. As well as my mom. That's like such an advantage. I'm so grateful for that. Both of my parents are working on their own familial trauma. And, I do my shit and I'm working on it, but it's like the most helpful thing in the whole world is for a parent to tell a kid, not teach them anything, but just to say, I have these false beliefs, I have this negative narrative. Perhaps you do too, and here's what I've felt. It helps me so much. And that is so helpful. I'm so fucking grateful for that, because I know so many people don't have that. Pretty much nobody has that. I'm so fucking lucky. And they're supportive. Both of them have come up to see my stand-up, which is fucking cool, man. Shout out my parents. I'm 25, but that shit still is meaningful to me, man. I can't lie. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else? Oh. My dad sent me this podcast about this guy who invented this therapeutic system, I suppose. He called it, I believe it's IFS, Internal Family Systems. And basically this is a form of therapy that you can do on yourself. When you feel your trauma coming up, ways to address that, ways to acknowledge it, be compassionate and merciful with it. You're the one who is extending this healing nourishment to parts of your body that need it. And he did a podcast, the founder of this IFS, on IFS and psychedelics, and how it's actually a very common phenomena for people who do psychedelics to have this spontaneous IFS moment. And dude, I feel like that's what's happening. That's what happened to me. I'm like, that is so fucking strange that like this happens to a lot of people. They'll do a psychedelic and they'll just have this profound realization and feeling that, oh, these negative, habitual, repetitive patterns and habits that I have are not me. They have nothing to do with me. There's just shit that happened to me and it's trauma stored in my body. And you kind of like get this chance to address it and try to have a release, a healthy release. And yeah, man, that's how I would describe what happened to me and what I'm trying to do with my book. So cool. I want to learn more about IFS. I think that's such a helpful approach to therapy, essentially. But yeah, man. Dude, let's hop into this. Whew. Chapter 10, Vibration. Okay. The purpose of this chapter is to explain the significance of vibration. Every soul is its own unique and individual vibration. When the vibration of soul is localized in a time and space, it is called a self. So the way that I like to look at this is that the soul is a vibration that, well, goes on forever, I would say, is eternal. The soul is what you were before you were born and what you'll be, continue to be after your death. And the self is when the soul is localized in a point in time inside of a body. So you are both a self, as long as you're in a human body, and a soul. I think that's important because I'll get into how the soul communicates to the self. Self is capable of receiving guidance from soul that is in a time and space of better clarity. Yeah, so like I said, let's say this is your self, and your soul is this vibration that intersects with yourself, but also exists in different times and spaces. And that is how it can send back information to the self and give it guidance on what is the true self. How the soul, when it's in the body, can express itself in the most authentic way possible. All souls stem from all capital being, capital B-E-I-N-G. It is the destiny of all souls to leave being and return. So I like this idea because it kind of has 2 points to it. I think that, and this is just theoretical, but it does resonate with me that the soul comes to earth and then it returns to a place of pure being, a place of no resistance, no negativity. It goes back to its true form and its true state. But it also refers to the soul inside of your own body, because I think it's the journey of everybody to go and, in a sense, get lost and lose connection, and then while you're still in your body, to gain that connection back. And it's much more meaningful to do that. Let's see. It's meaningful to do that in a way where you realize that's what's happening. It's not just this natural progression of nature. It's this realization and this conscious awareness of, oh wow, like this is who I am, and this is actually happening to me, and this is, I can feel that I'm returning to this familiar feeling of a deep peace and deep sense of rootedness and love and being. Yeah. Every return trip back to being constitutes a cycle of evolution for the soul. Yeah, so I view this kind of both, that your soul comes to earth and then it leaves. And that cycle is an evolution for the soul. It learns what it needs to, regardless of what happens to it or anything that it does on earth. It evolves. And that's also applicable for the soul in the body. When you feel that sense of losing beingness and then coming back to it, it's as if it's a cycle, because you're adding to the sense of being, of the knowledge of, oh, I'm coming back to this rootedness that, in a sense, never really left. Yeah. Being can be compared to the sun, and soul compared to a ray of the sun. Yeah, I just like to say that because being, or the sun, is always existent, at least for us. You know, it's existent always for us. And the ray of the sun is a extension of the source. But that extension, although individual, because there's several rays of the sun, comes from the sun and couldn't exist without the sun. So in a sense, that ray or the soul can identify both with the sun and as its own individual self. The ray of the sun is both the sun and also an individual component. The wave is both the ocean and an individual component. Yeah, same idea. Waves, there's different waves, but all waves are ocean. Vibration of soul includes individual and combined greater soul, involving several souls. The whole human race shares a greater soul. Sorry. So, that idea, I've been thinking about that for a while, and in my last episode, Maddie mentioned that as well, the soul family. And it resonates deeply with me because we're all on our own individual journey and path, but there are people that you come in contact with, and they're doing their thing, you're doing your thing, but there's something so similar between you. Not only of who you are, but the path that you're on and things that you want and things that you've experienced and have overcome. And with certain people, you just feel this oneness with, like, you really resonate with them. And I think that could be called a greater soul, where you guys are connected in a way that transcends just your individual self. I also think that the whole human race has that connection. We're all connected in such a deep being that we are all in the sense that because we all have this same feeling of connectedness, we're one. I hope that makes sense. What is the purpose of soul? The purpose of soul is to bring being to all life forms and to create from being. The purpose of humans is to realize the purpose of soul. Yeah, so, we're it feels kind of obvious that we're humans, we're doing our human thing, but there can be a paradigm shift that we're deeper than just humans temporarily on Earth, that we actually are souls, and that the purpose of a soul is to realize that inside of a human body and to feel that deeply, and then to act in the world still in your human body, but from this place of pure being. And that's how I believe true creativity and true authenticity comes about. What is the relationship of vibration and creativity? Being is the source of all creativity. When self becomes realized, from trauma self to true self, it can now interpret the creativity in its own true way. True self needs no guidance on how to interpret this creativity. Self does require assistance from soul for realization and direction. Yeah, so once you begin to identify more with your true self, more as a soul identity as opposed to a human identity. That sounds kind of strange. But when that happens, then, yeah, you become more, your creativity has more of your own flavor, your own spice to it. What is the process of turning vibration into a concretized reality? Let's begin with the trauma self. The trauma self interprets unsatisfactory life situations and blames others. It blames other people, it blames organizations, churches, religions, governments, you name it. It's everybody else's fault. The next step is for trauma self to realize its interpretations are causing unsatisfactory life situations. A profound realization then comes when life situation changes, when interpretation changes. So yeah, the shift begins when it's like, okay, I think my approach to life is the thing that's causing me suffering. And then once you realize that a different approach actually does begin to change the way you talk to people, the way people relate to you, the way you relate to situations, the way situations are playing out in your life, it has a more positive, more, I suppose, way of being that you prefer. That's a deep realization that it started on the inside and then it plays out on the outside. Finally, to realize all souls have their own true interpretation. The self need not worry about creating its own. I kind of like this because, for a while I used to stress or overthink. I have bad viewpoints and I need to change these. I don't think you don't necessarily need to change them. I think you realize them, and just by realizing them and bringing awareness to them, they melt away. And then what's left is the true interpretation. You don't need to create it. It's what's there when you unravel and untie the knots of your trauma or incorrect perspectives and beliefs. The self has been conditioned to act from a place of fear and attack. When the self acts from being, then it moves in its true direction. Yeah, I actually do believe that, because even motivation, a lot of motivation stems from negativity. I remember this, I read this study back when I was in college about a mice runs 2 times as fast running away from the scent of a cat than it does running towards food or a drug, perhaps something positive for the animal. So negativity does, and fear can play a role in maybe getting your ass moving when you need to. But I don't think it's sustainable. And people that continually act out of fear and attack are, I would say, suffering. But when you can act and do whatever you need to do out of this place of being, of this rootedness, then that's much more moving in your true direction. All conflict, war, and crime would be eliminated if all selves realized and felt being, and understood all other selves also fundamentally were souls who came from being and surely will return to being. Yeah, can you imagine that, man? If everybody treated each other from this place of being and realized that what I'm feeling and this deep, deep realization that I have is also in your friends and your family and the people you see in the street and driving their car, when you turn on the TV, everybody. Doesn't matter what country they're from, what they look like, what language they speak. We're all fundamentally souls that feel the same beingness. That would eliminate so much bullshit. Like, how could you be racist or sexist or any other bullshit like that if you were rooted in that and you understood that's what other people were as well? I think that will happen. I think it maybe needs to happen, you know? We could try to change government, we could try to change structures, but if the change came on the inside, out of genuine, real love, then it would be, yeah, heaven on earth, paradise, baby. Yeah, so that's the end of this chapter. Sometimes I'm brainstorming, like, I need to change my, maybe I need to change my structure, I need to change things, how I'm doing this, but for now, I like it. And if you don't, that's all I gotta say. That's a hard line, trying to figure out, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do my thing, but also being like, well, I still need, I still want it to be entertaining, and if I need to change something that'll make it better, then I want to do that. That's stand-up, bro. That's like, you want to be funny, you want people to like you, but at the same time, you kind of want to be like, I don't give a fuck what you guys think. I know it's funny, I'm fucking telling you. Balance. Whew. Anything else? I can't think of anything. Give this a like, a thumbs up. Go down in the comments, write some shit. I don't even give a fuck what it is. I will respond. And subscribe, baby. Subscribe. We got a lot of good shit coming. Yeah, man, stay tuned. We got new ideas coming. It's gonna get good. Peace out, motherfuckers.